everybody. Welcome on into Bell and the Birdmen. Oh, yes, sir. I am John Barchard. Of course, right over here is Vince Quinn. And although you cannot see his beautiful face, which we have to fix one day, by the way, Taylor Credatis also here with us as well. Cheers to everybody. As we are going to, we might get defensive with one another, but we're going to stay in the defensive mindset once again for this episode, because I feel like people are asking a lot of the right questions, and I'd like to point out once again that Vince Quinn was the first one to start asking about them, so I just want to point out how incredibly beautiful and handsome and correct you are all the time this offseason. But one of the things...
We argue a lot for that.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that I want to get into today, especially, is the situation. We've talked about Fletcher Cox and probably, obviously, more than likely his last year. A lot of changes were made. Then the question of, Javon Hargrave kind of comes up after his press conference the past week or so. He, kind of just left it as I'm just going to let football speak for itself. I'm not really worried about what that extension is going to be because it's his last year. This contract is two of this year as well. So, I think automatically, Vince, a lot of people go, well, yeah, Cox is going to leave. Hargrave's going to stay. And unless, something crazy happens or Hargrave isn't as good anymore or whatever it is. But what do you make of all of this? I honestly believe that there is a chance that neither are here next year, and we'll get into that in a second. But, obviously I would love Hargrave around here for a lot longer if you're losing Fletcher Cox. A lot of value there, obviously, right? You would want him to stay no matter what.
Well, yeah,
for the most part.
I love Hargrave. I mean, I'm a big fan of what he does, and also I think this is really important. Fletcher Cox could be very pissed off this year. I mean, look, why did we talk about him so much last year? We talked about him a lot during the season, didn't we?
A lot.
We were trading him to Cleveland a bunch of times and all sorts of stuff.
Should have taken that deal, Cleveland. That would have been,
by
the way.
I mean, we would have had OBJ and Dearness Johnson. That would have worked
Greedy
out.
Williams. See, we would have lost a little bit of that.
Damn
trade.
it, that deal would have been awesome. Especially because the secondary stinks. So, anyway, thinking about where that's going to go, right? Because this is all changing. The defense is changing. It's obvious. Everybody's talking about it. It's undeniable.
Yep.
What was the problem last year with Fletcher Cox? Didn't like his role. He wasn't happy about it. He's yelling at Jonathan Gannon, and now, after he tries to leave and everyone expects him to leave, and Jeff McClain was writing articles before the season last year that they were thinking he was going to leave. After all of that happened, he's still here, and they pay him $14 million, and I guess that's happiness. But look, getting paid the money is one thing. Knowing that the defense is going to be different is another thing. But to be able to show up and have to do that all season, knowing that he doesn't like the role, he doesn't like where the defense is, and he's not a focal point anymore, I don't know how happy he's going to be.
And he clearly at one point called Jonathan Gannon a motherfucker behind closed doors, right? That probably happened.
Something like that, yeah. Some form of French, if you will.
Motherfucker! Yeah. I want to rush the passer. What is this shit, right? Something like that along those lines?
Yeah.
We all did that this season, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. We definitely did.
I could totally see that. And to your point, if I'm staying around, I need $14 million because you need me. And I know that's not my market, but that's what you're going to have to pay me to stay. Otherwise, I'm going to go take $8 million from Cleveland or whoever wanted him. The Rams,
Of course,
somebody would have gladly signed that over. Yeah, I think you're 100% right on that. What do you think? Do you think there's a decision to be made with Hargrave? Because I do personally. I'm just curious where do you think he stands in terms of, would Royley have to fuck up this season to not be back here next year? Pretty much solidified. Where do you think he's at?
Yeah, I think this is the easiest decision you could ever make. Because I look at this and I see a guy that, one, has been amazing, had a career year last year. He's 28 years old. And when you think about the Eagles, when they brought that guy in, remember how stunned people were when they signed Hargrave? Because they were like, wait, who the fuck is this guy? He's coming out of a 3-4. We don't know what this is. But they signed him, day 2 of free agency? I mean, they went very aggressive. Javon Hargrave was a guy for them. The same way Hassan Reddick this year was a guy. They were like, this is a foundational piece. We're going to go and get him. So they were clearly big fans of what he could do. Now, they did this in the Doug Peterson era, technically.
There we go.
But But he did play in a 3-4 before. I mean, you're talking about a guy that played in Pittsburgh for all those years, and they were like, well, we can convert this guy and make him more of a dedicated pass rusher. He can be great at that. So he has been. Is he willing to go back to that role is really the question. Because if he's in that Fletcher Cox camp and they're both sitting there together going, oh, well, this motherfucker, well, then, yeah, like it's gonna be difficult, you know. And maybe you are talking about changing things over, and you look at a defense in 2023 where it's Jordan Davis and Milton Williams and whatever hell, Hassan Ridgeway for the 15th time, whatever they want to do at defensive tackle for the rest of that depth, they go and figure it out. But I would keep Hargrave, and I would be shocked, honestly, if they don't extend him before the season. I would be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked, especially if they don't extend him at all until, if they want to bring him back for free agency or after this year. Yeah, like I could still absolutely see that. I don't think they make a deal with him at all, though, during the season. And here's why. I think that Vince Quinn has a lot of legs in terms of the defense, and I don't mean to keep giving him so much credit here, but
no, please.
It really has got me thinking about a lot of different things. You already mentioned him already. Like, there's a reason why Tom Donahue got upset with Milton Williams. Jonathan Gannon got really excited about it, and Tom Donahue got Ari Golded the fuck out of the building this season. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, Jordan Davis is there. Milton Williams is there. What does that look like if you close your eyes and go, okay, I drafted Milton Williams and we drafted Jordan Davis this year? You wouldn't consider those two Javon Hargrave types or Fletcher Cox type defensive tackles, right?
No.
And they also invested heavily in a position that they have historically never done so before, ever in the history of Howie Roseman, Andy Reid, Joe Banner, and my grandfather. I don't who knows? The 70s is the last time they cared about linebackers with Bill Berge and all that stuff.
It's a great time.
And shout out to him because I know he's still around and goes around everywhere around North Philly. So
really nice guy. I met him once. Really nice guy.
Yeah. But like that's a completely different philosophy in terms of what you're looking for in defensive tackles. And what I was demonstrating here, shout out, by the way, to Ocean City Coffee here in Media. It's delicious. And we're going to get you on the road with us. But and some gum and then this liquid death can, right? Like I was just demonstrating on like
this was really funny.
How I can kind of imagine all this stuff. And I'm going to be as descriptive as possible anyway. But definitely go subscribe to the YouTube page if you're listening to the podcast. But if the liquid death can, this big, beautiful 16.9 ounce can of death here that just, blitzes through centers and all that stuff, if he is Jordan Davis, right? And then let's just say that this wonderful Ocean City coffee cup is Hassan Reddick, for instance, right? And now you've got this tiny little pack of gum here that's behind Hassan Reddick, right? And that's Nakobe Dean. And, like, I think that they're building a model where, like, this liquid death can is made to take on everybody, the whole weight of the center line. If that means 2 or 3 guards and Milton Williams is there to fill all that space out to take it, well, then they're going to stunt with Hassan Riddick going to the right of Jordan Davis. And here comes Nakobe Dean either through the lane that Davis and Hassan are creating, or he's going to the left-hand side and blitzing that way and stunting that way, where Milton Williams is clearing out this space. They are not only, in my mind, changing the philosophy of the defensive line, the defense in general, whatever. They are officially back to 2-gapping stunt team. They want defensive tackles that can eat up space and have the speed of the linebackers with a clear-cut lane to the quarterback to go kill him, and that is literally Hassan Riddick's best skill as a player, is to go kill the quarterback in an open lane because he's too fast, he's too athletic, he can stand up, he can go down, you can move him everywhere. Nakobe Dean can basically do all of that except put his hand in the ground, so that's another element. And then you have all this filler of TJ Edwards, of the third-round pick,
Davion Taylor.
Davion Taylor, baby. There you go.
It's
I'm
the
sorry.
man.
Sorry, Davion. I know, it took you a while to play football, but what's his best skill? Being fast and attacking and going downhill. So, like, all the other guys that they drafted have those similar skill sets as well. So I do believe there's actually a very good chance that Hargrave is not here next year as well. I think that is. I don't know if he works into the comp pick formula at Jimmy Kempski. Please help us out.
Yeah, he would get that kind of deal.
But I think there's a great chance that Hargrave isn't here based on the drafting of Williams and everyone getting upset except for the defensive coordinator. Fletcher Cox being mad and not wanting to be here obviously makes sense too, but drafting Jordan Davis is kind of the cherry on top. And that, I know this was like we discovered fire a long time ago, but still very relevant when it comes to Hargrave in this conversation. I don't think he's here next year. If I had to guess today.
Let's talk about another traditional Eagles thing over the last couple of years that might get turned on its head. Do they care about defensive line rotations?
Of course they do. Absolutely they do.
Well, then you got to keep Hargrave. You have to. Because it was before it was the Jim Schwartz system. So, all right, your defensive line is getting the pass rush. Those are the guys that do it. If you're leaning on them for every single opportunity to do it and you want to keep them fresh and you're going to keep moving, then okay, you need 6 defensive tackles, 7 to 8 defensive linemen, and you got to roll all those guys out. If it's not going to be that way, then okay, you could go Milton Williams, you could go Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat's locked in for a couple of years, and whoever your other defensive lineman's going to be, effectively, okay, you could do that too. But if Jordan Davis is a limited snaps guy, and they are going to be in a situation where they do need to roll a couple of guys out there, keep Hargrave. Like, you're going to go through a lot of transition, right? You're probably going to lose Fletcher Cox. I mean, it's amazing to me. Like, they're lucky, and we'll see how it goes, obviously, because of injuries, but they're lucky that Brandon Graham wants to go out the right way. That's what this all screams to me, because it's a natural time for him to hang it up, right? You think of his age, you think of where everything's going for this team. They are changing the system. He's going to have to change how he plays again, most likely. So if he's going to have to do that now at his age in the last year of his career, I mean, we thought he was gone 2 years ago. So it's shocking. So he's probably actually really gone after this year.
Oh, yes.
Fletcher Cox being the same thing. To have a guy that's been in the locker room, I would assume that unless they have a personality problem, which I've not seen or read anything like that with Hargrave, there's no reason to get rid of this guy, even if it's a 2-year deal. Find some way to keep this guy around, give you some depth, and let it transition. Because, like, you've even said it yourself as the biggest Jordan Davis fan that I can find on the planet Earth outside of his mother. Is
close competition, Mom. I'm coming for your spot.
He is.
I could never take it, though, obviously.
But this guy's going to need time to grow into the snap count at an NFL level.
Yeah.
I mean, he was playing, what, 20-something snaps a game? Is he going to play 50 snaps in an NFL game fighting two guys?
In 2023? Fuck yeah.
Okay, I hope. I hope.
Then he's a bust at that point. That's what I'm saying. And then you hold on to Hargrave and you move on.
And this is where all that role stuff comes into play too, because what's to say that Jordan Davis isn't a first and second down guy, at least for the first 2 years? He's got to develop his skill set. He's got to develop the longevity within a game, and you keep Hargrave for that situational difference. Like, just because this is what your main focus is, and especially on early downs, it doesn't mean you have to just get rid of Hargrave and let him walk. If you can afford him, which the Eagles can. I mean, it's the biggest contract on their books right now is like $18 million.
Yeah.
It's laughable. It's laughable. I mean, it costs you nothing in the grand scheme. All these receivers and corners and safeties now. Hello, Jesse Bates. All these different guys, that quarterbacks, the way it's moved to have $18 million as your highest cap hit. I forget who it is. It's like Lane Johnson or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing. So keep Hargrave, let him stay, but he's also the guy that I think makes that transition more gracefully, and it just really feels like the end of the road for Cox.
Yeah, well, I want to make it clear, like, I'm not saying get rid of Hargrave after this season. I would just say I think it's more likely than unlikely that he's not here.
Okay, so let me pitch another scenario then that might line up with your thinking a little bit more, just so I understand this. It could be they don't extend him, right? They like him. They're not going to extend him. He hits free agency. They keep in touch, see who else is out there. If he goes right away, so be it. But if they can bring him back, price is right, they work that out, and he comes on back for a year or two.
Well, that's I think that's great. I just think there's like I was having to remind myself of like, all right, who else would be the top defensive tackle in next year's free agency? Darian Payne from the Commanders is like 13th on, I don't know, some random sportsnot.coms.
Ooh, a commie.
Hey,
okay.
there you go.
I mean, I could take a commie, I guess, if it was Daron Payne.
And that that's a Pro Bowl player right there. So that would inevitably set the market. I think Hargrave performs so well this year that he prices himself out. And let me just push back literally and figuratively on this is if their intention is not to have a Hargrave attacking defensive tackle and they are really dumping that responsibility onto outside and inside linebackers and maybe even the DNs at that point, and that's their responsibilities to attack, I don't think that's going to be an issue at all for Jordan Davis. If you're asking him to very much so fit into his skill set, don't kill the quarterback every single down. We want you to do that on a limited basis until year 2. Let Cox, let Hargrave, let BG get in there, and that's why I think it's going to be I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think it's going to be such a fun year on the defense because the swan song to Brandon Graham, I mean, it's not like they're going to just ditch 4-3 fronts altogether. You have to probably line them up there to match Cox, Hargrave, and Brandon Graham's best skill set. So maybe that is your third down package anyway. And sometimes it's Jordan Davis. Very rarely it's Milton Williams, and then Hassan's thrown in there too. Like, that's fun. If maybe they like, I feel as though the tools are there for Jonathan Gannon to be very, very creative this year, and there's no fucking excuse. First and foremost, so let's leave it at that.
Well, let's not leave it there because there's plenty of excuses.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying in terms of
okay, good.
There's no other filler there. He either can or cannot, and he's got the right tools to do it now.
Okay,
right.
He's got some tools to do it with.
Well, who are we missing here? What is missing from Jonathan Gannon's toolbox?
Well, for changing the front 7, yeah, he's changed the front 7. But going back to the Hargrave thing too, I mean, why does it have to be that, okay, you're going to change, you're going to have a 2 gap. Fine. Yeah. You're going to have a guy that does that. Hargrave doesn't need to be that guy. Like, keep him and let him rotate with Milton Williams.
Well, why wouldn't he be a defensive endish?
Well, he can do that.
3-4. It's the same technique
and maybe he
almost.
is because, like, look, you're locked in for Josh Sweat for what, 4 more years now? 3 more years if you want to go last year of a contract is funny money, which is the right way to look at things. So let's say Sweat's here for 3 more years. Fine. You have him as one side as an edge rusher. You're going to have Reddick on the other side as an edge rusher. Milton Williams is going to be moving around. Hargrave's going to be moving around like that. They'll be the bigger guy on the edge to free up that other edge rusher. And Davis eats up 2 guys to free up a linebacker to blitz. Yep. If that's how it's going to be, that's okay. Like, you can still keep Hargrave, and he gives you that thing that you want Milton Williams to be.
Vince Quinn, I'm not trying to push the guy out for Christ's sake.
I love Hargrave, okay? Damn it. It's my guy.
I'm just viewing this through an Eagles lens where the defensive coordinator won over Tom Donahue. And there's probably fucking paint gun shit all over Tom Donahue's shirt right now. Those in the know. You never watched Entourage, did you?
No.
I
saw like 2 episodes.
There's no
of that
emotion
show.
whatsoever. I was going, he's never seen Entourage.
I've seen like 2 episodes.
Go yell at Vince right here, 215-509-5833. Yell at him first, and then the second thing, if you haven't heard by now, good Lord Almighty, we are giving a trip away to the Washington Commanders Eagles trip, Week 3, all expenses paid. Thank you to PhillySportsTrips.com. And all you got to do is text this number right down here if you're looking on the YouTube. For those listening, that's just 215-509-5833. And send the text, "Take me to Washington." And let me tell you, I didn't realize the price of this trip is absurdly low for what is in it. Absurdly low for $299. $299, you get one of the best tailgates in the world, essentially, on the bus, because that's what we're going to end up probably doing here. And we right now are working the back channels, may I say, pretty brilliantly here to bring you some of the best tasting craft beers, cocktails. We're doing it all, and even I'm going to shout out somebody else here too. We just had this today. I know there's one on South Street, which I don't think Vince has ever tried, but the Euro place, I think, just expanded right by next to our office here in media. My goodness, their sandwiches are good. I want to go see if we can bring them on the bus. Like, you tell us what you want on the bus. We're going to put it on there. That's how this goes. That's how awesome Vince is. That's why we partnered with him. PhillySportsTrips.com to book your ticket right now for $299. You get to drink, party as late or as hard as you want to. And we're also thinking of, should there be ? Let us know in the Discord or the text line. Do we need a bell in the Birdmen party bus? Like its own like little thing there where we're going crazy and live streaming the whole time. that we're going down to Washington and like doing the Warriors clinging the bells thing and like, Carson, we're coming, and just bring him a nightmare of 3 hours of streaming on the bus ride down. I think we should do that.
Yes, we should totally do that.
All right.
Plus, it's crazy too because we were talking to Vince earlier today, and the tickets are in a great spot.
Oh my God, they're an amazing. Yo, I'm burying the lead. It is all of our tickets are right next to the Eagles tunnel. Coming in, coming out. They are all right there. So I am jacked up for that. You should be too. Go to phillysportstrips.com right now and just get on the bus. We are being very ambitious with this trip. Vince even told us that too. Like, we want to try and take 600 people to go scare the shit out of Carson Wentz. If we're lower level, if it's right there, oh my God. What a trip. What a trip it's going to be. Go to phillysportstrips.com right now and text us 215-509-5833. Take me to Washington. He wants to basically give it away because we want to be so fucking loud and proud on week 3. We cannot wait for that. And Vince, I got to yell at you a slight bit and maybe a lot of bit of Eagles Twitter.
Right.
I'm just going to get right into it because I know this has been a hot debated topic for 2.5 weeks, and I'm sick and fucking tired of talking about it. The defense is done. It's good enough. Stop worrying about CB2. Stop fucking dreaming up. Even though I want it to happen, the Jesse Bates thing, I hope it happens. And I hope Howie realizes that safeties are important to our good friend Vince Quinn, just to make him put a nice smile on his face, make him forget about Kyle Hamilton and all that stuff. But would everyone shut up? The defense is done. It doesn't need much more. Who cares?
If it doesn't need much more, you're saying it's not done.
You guys care so much about the defense.
Yeah.
So much. It's all here. They fucking fixed the linebackers finally. They give you what you want, even though it's absurd. It's absurd. And everybody goes, oh, where's the rest? Where's the rest? They gave us everything we asked for. Where's the rest? Enough. The offense is ready to go. There's really only a little bit of tinkering that you have to do. If it's a great team, they'll fucking make a move at the deadline and make sure who's going to cover this. Oh my God. Shut up. You have to shut up now. They hooked A.J. Brown. They made us all settle down. They'll fucking figure it out.
No, what makes you guarantee that this is going to get figured out all of a sudden? Oh, no. Kay Vincent, Tay Gowan, the legend that is in the head of John Barchard, is suddenly going to show up and lock down guys in a division that has good receivers. Like, come on.
Yeah, who's Patrick Robinson? Who's that fucking guy? Get him out of here. I'm saying nobody's won Super Bowl titles before. Jalen Mills, oh my God. You have to have this lockdown shutdown.
Jalen Mills is in a whole class above anybody else that this team has.
They had no.
He's a whole other class.
They had no corners winning the Super Bowl. None. They had
acceptable
safety.
People that were below average. Acceptable starters.
Acceptable?
Yes.
The guy broke his fucking ankles the first couple weeks of the season.
Okay.
They traded for him, and then he came back, and then he was gone, and then he was semi-effective, then not ineffective, then made one of the greatest interceptions against the fucking Raiders to save that game and hold field advantage. You know the rest of the goddamn story after that. It doesn't fucking matter. Defense doesn't matter. Corners matter. You have to.
You don't have one.
What the Slay exists.
That's one guy.
It's unbelievably disrespectful to that man. Time and time again, he shelled his ass over and over to be an elite corner, and we're still bitching. We are still here yipping and yapping that it's not the fucking Buddy Ryan defense or whatever.
It's the same thing as the offense. You have Devontae Smith. He's a great wide receiver. They had nobody on the other side, and everybody goes, we are fucked if we don't get anybody else over there. And you know what? They went and got a guy.
Because of the quarterback, and they understand where he's at right now. Slay is proven everything, and you're still
he's amazing.
If the scenario was different and the Eagles had A.J. Brown and not Devontae Smith, no one's freaking out.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes,
Vince Quinn.
Yes, you are. If they don't have a number 2 wide receiver and they have to run Quez Watkins or Jalen Reagor or Greg Ward or Zach Pascal, people would flip a shit.
No.
They would absolutely flip a shit. Because it's not a Devontae Smith problem. What numbers does A.J. Brown have if he was playing on this team last year? What does he do? I mean, honestly, they couldn't throw the ball. They had to run constantly. They were the best running team in the league because they couldn't pass for
having
shit.
his best friend on the team would have really fucking been bad.
Does that make him more anticipatory as a thrower?
Yes.
AJ, come on over. Suddenly, my awareness rating goes up by 7 in Madden. That's not how it works.
I mean, first of all,
friendship doesn't make you better. Like, it doesn't make you a better player.
Anti-friend guy, Vince Quinn.
It's like, what are we?
First of all, fat shamer, anti-friender, right over here, Vince Quinn. Good Lord.
You also called me good looking today, though, so we'll add that.
Yeah, exactly. Good looking, fat shaming, anti-friendship.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. You just described like half of Carrie's ex-boyfriends. They're perfect.
Wait, what matters less, running or defense?
Defense.
Ooh, defense does matter less than running, I would say. But you can't have a bottom passing
that's a
defense.
great question. Actually, I might have to change my answer.
Yeah, that's a fucking great one.
What does John hate more?
No, defense matters more than running. In the game, that'd be absurd. One facet of the offense matters more than the entire fucking side of the ball. That'd be absurd.
Come on,
I'm
double
sorry.
down.
No,
Coward.
yeah,
No, I'm thinking about it.
defense.
All right. Are you stuck being in a
dude? If you answer running back, then I'm fucking right and settle down because
I'm not saying running
the defense
back. I'm
is
saying running. Okay,
Oh,
running.
that's
as a whole.
one aspect of the offense versus the entire thing, the entire unit. Defense. Come on, man.
I'd have to see it to know. This
love
feels
it.
like a coin flip.
That's not a coin flip. Not a coin flip.
All right, corners and safeties versus running
Corners.
backs.
All right, hold on.
No,
Let me.
And safeties.
Corners and safeties versus running backs. Corners and safeties.
Corners and safeties.
Then the defense wins too, Vince. There's no way they're running.
Because I'm trying to think about this now, right?
You're just
Like,
trying to make Barney Pearlstein happy.
Well, no, because I'm thinking about the Ravens a little bit, and I'm thinking about the
course
Titans.
you are.
Yes, I am. Okay, paint me purple. And as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, all right, well, you know what? Ultimately, I haven't gone deep in the playoffs. When is the last time that a team was just an elite defense and won the Super Bowl?
Never.
It's definitely happened.
Not in relevant football today.
Exactly, which is why in part I'm thinking about the question. So it's like, all right, when is just an elite defense with a shit offense? When's the last time they won a Super Bowl? When's the last time a team that's a great running team has won the Super
Bears.
Bowl?
It's
and
like
they
still had
the
sweetness. And
Ravens
they had one of
back in the day with
honestly,
of course,
actually,
Tony Siragusa.
The best comp is the 06 Bears, actually. One of the greatest defenses in the NFL. It carried them throughout the entire year. They had fucking Rex Grossman at quarterback. They even ran back the what's his face? Oh my god, I can't believe
Devin
it.
Hester returned the opening kick, and then they ended up losing in like a 16-7 game or something like that.
The closest modern team that I can remember doing it, and yell at me if that's like you're like John.
That's not modern.
How could you forget?
Yeah, I don't even know if they counted. It's over 15 years ago now. Fuck.
Never mattered. It's there's never been a defensive-led team that's done anything modernly.
Recently, yeah, I'm trying to think of who it is because it's weird too because and this is part of what makes that question so complicated when you're talking about what's more valuable, a running game or a defense. Like they're usually together. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a running team, you try to build the defense as well.
I have never seen Vince Quinn galaxy brain something this badly before.
What are the Colts?
Holy Jesus Christ.
What are the Colts?
The Colts
what
are
the 49ers?
A boring team.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. All of those teams are boring. If you're a great defense and a great running game, you're boring as shit.
But that's together. You're combining the things. If
that's how it always goes.
If they just had a running game and no defense, how the fuck do you think that would go?
Oh, it'd go terribly.
Yeah, there we go. Defense wins. Defense does not win championships. Settle down. It might win defense for your defense might win a game for you. But it's when Nick Saban says defense doesn't matter anymore, close the fucking book. And back to my original point, close the book. The defense is done. It's been fixed. For what the modern defense is today in the NFL, that defense is closer to the 85 Bears of this era than And guess what? They're tied with about 14 other teams. Congratulations. If you want to be the top defensive team in the NFL, good luck on your 9-8 playoff appearance.
Or, being the Rams. So
being the Rams?
The Rams had a great defense.
Did what?
An all-time season from a wide receiver?
John left the show. All right. Well, it's just me for the next 25 minutes. Let me talk more shit on the secondary and how bad it is. Look. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, what are we Von Miller? What are we talking about here? I mean, really, what is the grievance that you have with the Rams defense being great?
Nothing.
Was the offense shitting the bed and they dragged them through?
When you build, we're gonna have to make a Tom Brady rule about the fucking Rams. Like the Rams,
Fine.
the Rams are
Fine.
also a weird anomaly, and the Colts are trying to repeat that. And how is that going for them?
The Colts are not nearly on that level.
Yes, they are.
No,
What
they're not.
yes, they are.
How
If
many draft picks do they have?
if Matt Stafford, I'm just saying in how they are looking right now. They drafted Jared Goff. They've gotten all this talent around them. They go, all right, fuck, it's not going to work. They draft Matt Stafford. If the Colts or a trade for Matt Stafford, if the Colts trade for Matt Stafford, they're winning a Super Bowl.
I don't know about that.
It's the same, but like
Their offense isn't as good.
uh,
It's not. The receiving talent is not as good.
If you think the Rams were successful because of their defense mainly, then go out. You're off the show.
All right.
See, that's better.
I'll be over here.
There you go.
Ray
There you
Dinger
go.
just retired, so he might be looking for work.
I just can't believe it. I can't believe that like this always happens. The most prolific offenses in the world are reduced to the one game in the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship. This is why defense wins championships or whatever. Man, like the Eagles' defense never won a championship. The offenses did always. It always ran through them. Always. The Arizona, the NFC Championship game there, they might have both played bad, but McNabb played like shit. It runs how your quarterback runs. Always. And like, if you think it's going to be so detrimental to not have this glorious big name CB2, I remind you once again that you had three corners that couldn't really do it and still hung in there, and the offense was too powerful, and it didn't matter, and you had people playing out of their minds at the quarterback position all year long, and you were ahead of everybody analytically, and so on and so on and so on. Jesus.
Jalen Mills is a mile better than anybody at CB2 right now.
That's an insane insult
A
to
mile?
Steven Nelson was better than Jalen Mills last year.
He's not on the team.
Who cares?
That's exactly the point.
He was if
Steven Nelson was here, I'd be fine.
Oh my God!
I would be fine.
$3.5 million corner
Yes.
is the difference between the defense being great and the defense being meh.
They have no safeties behind him either. That's like, I hate to belabor all this, but I can't just look at it and go, yep, they might start an undrafted rookie free agent. We're fine.
They're not done. They're not done.
Well, they
Why do
better
you think
not.
they're done?
Well, until something
it's
else
not even-
comes.
It's not even June.
That's why I want Jesse Bates and Bradbury. Yes, that's why I wanted everybody else. Tyrann Mathieu. That's why I wanted Hamilton. I wanted because they don't have a secondary.
And I guarantee
It's
you,
a passing league.
I guarantee you, one of those 10 DBs in that room hits. I just keep saying Tay Gowan because it's fun, and I hope that ends up happening because me and Tay are gonna have a party. Right here in this studio. A partay, yeah. That was really, really good, by the way. Man, we had so much good beer and cocktails and stuff. Go watch and listen to the last episode if you haven't. We were at Citizens Bank Park reacting to the schedule and all that fun stuff. Just a lot of good goodies headed your way, actually, this season. And man, I can't wait to be so right and Vince Quinn to be so wrong about this.
All right.
It's from the Washington trip on. I think that's going to happen here, So let us know what you're worried about. If you're worried about anything left this offseason, I can't believe you
He's so mad.
It's just a fight I will never win with Philadelphia. Buddy Ryan ruined too many things. And if you're saying, John, I don't think that way, your grandfathers did or your fathers did or so on and so on. It was just passed down this way. Defense and running the football. Andy Reid has given us the best years of our lives through prolific offenses to showing you how to build a model and a dynasty forever. And yet, right, we still want to do that.
Is it the blue collarness of Philadelphia? Like I work hard, and so is the defense. You know what I mean? Like
that whole.
Well,
yeah,
I'm wearing a white collar right now, okay?
I'm
And I
wearing...
want a secondary, like a modern defense in a passing era where everybody's throwing for 4,000 yards routinely at 68% completions. I want a secondary.
No, you know what?
We just watched the worst secondary we've ever seen where these guys were just getting torn by Zach Wilson for 80% completions. And now we look around, it got worse, and we go, yes, this is fine. Like, it's insane. It's insane to, like, I can get being tired of talking about it, fine. But to say it's over and settled is ludicrous.
Slay.
How many times have you cloned him? Do we have two?
No.
If there are two slays, because you said it twice.
Slay, you hearing this shit? No, I'm talking to him right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm sending him this whole thing, and I hate to do this to you, but Slay, you hearing this shit? This is unbelievable. It's like you don't exist, man. It's Philly's fault. It's not Vince's fault. It's Philly's fault. So can you just go shut them all up? Shut them up. This defense is fine. The secondary is going to be great. Shut them up. End the show. Bye.